Welcome back. Now that we can say for certain who our leaders will be in the coming months, something we can't be certain of is how they'll actually do the job. Ron, let's start locally. Where do you think the next Hagerstown City Council will take us?
To be honest with you, as of right now, which is here on Wednesday evening, taping a show for Thursday, we don't have a confirmed election result for the city of Hagerstown.
Right.
So, and I think the mayor is sworn in on the 28th of November.
Right.
And the council. That's not yet really decided.
The mayor's done. He was.
Well, he's done, but it isn't certified yet.
It's not certified.
It's,
He's
so,
done.
it's not.
But there, at this point, at the time of this taping, there's only 2 votes separating the bottom 2 candidates for city council. So, 2 votes.
Yeah.
So
every vote matters.
Every vote matters. So where are we going? I see 2 progressive, good thought people in Paul Quarterman and Emily Keller. Mm-hmm. I do think that they will move forward with some new ideas. I think they will do their research before they get into it. And I hope that they stick to their doing homework and understanding what the issues are and lead the city forward and not forget things that have been done. And I hope that the mayor, if it is successful that Brucci wins, I would hope that he would look into how he moves forward and not totally discount some of the major things that's been set forward so far. I think that could be a major step backward.
So my theory is, well, let me rephrase that. It's not a theory. Here's what I hope will happen. Number one, in my mind, even though the city council was very vocal about the relationship they've had with the county government, in my mind, the relationship with the county government has not been as good this past cycle as it was the cycle previous. And in my mind, quite frankly, I see that more on the city side than the counties. And I would hope that the city and county reconnect and see what they can do together, whether that's economic development, whether that's, I know the sheriff's booking does this Hagerstown City Police booking.
Yes.
Are there more of those types of things that we can do in one place instead of doing them in 2? I think that the economic development piece really needs to be pushed forward, and frankly, both at the city and county level. And I think that's a big, huge issue. And frankly, I think that we have got to, at some level, in my experience, you're on one of 2 sides if you're a developer, a builder, or a buyer in Hagerstown. You're either in the chosen few that are going to get the easiest ride you would ever hope for, where life is going to be tough, and everybody from the zoning to the code compliance to the historic people to whatever else are going to make life tough on you. And I don't know why that is. Somewhere we should be down the middle, and we should require certain things, and those should be non-negotiable. But let's be nice about it.
Well, so a couple of things that I would add in here. First, as of a couple of minutes ago, Mayor Geisberts has conceded the election, so Bob Brucci is officially mayor.
Oh.
The other part is, again, and I think this is something that I'll pick up on something Ron said. I think on the city side, there really isn't that much difference between Brucci and Geisberts in terms of the way they approach things. And yes, there were things that came out during the campaign that they basically really accentuated the differences. But I definitely hope that a lot of good things have happened in the last 4 years, and I do hope that those good things keep moving forward. And there's always room for opportunity for improvement as well. But if you look at, the period of time in Hagerstown prior to Brucci and Geisberts being in power, and they've fought against each other several times now, the city certainly has improved under both of their administrations tremendously. The council, I think, is still up in the air. Obviously, I think that there is a couple of good people, and certainly, Emily and Paul are going to be good for the city and bringing in the fresh blood. There's a couple that may end up being on the city council that probably have outlived their usefulness if there ever was any. But we'll have to see how that shakes out.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. Now, I don't live in the city of Hagerstown, so I haven't followed the race extremely closely. But, I really think that some of the fresh blood that's going to be on the city council is probably going to help a lot, especially with economic development. I really do.
Can we talk about the school board?
No.
Oh, boy.
No. Before we go to the school board, let me say that there has been, in the last 4 years, in my opinion, having lived it since the 70s, I think the last 4 years and what the county has proposed, working with the mayor and council, for the extension and the building and expansion of the Maryland Theater,
Yeah.
Barbara Ingram School for the Arts, the University of Maryland downtown, the old Susquehanna, which is BB&T Bank building, with the Bede building, the old Rosen's R&G store, with what's proposed down there, with all of those entities, are the greatest thing that this county and city has ever done working together. I would hate to see that destroyed. Walkway or no walkway out to the museum, I personally think that would be a good thing. Anybody that's been against it, saying we're spending too much money, I would relook at it, because it's a chance to tie in one of the nicest facilities we have, which is the Washington County Museum of Fine Arts, leaving the crown jewel of the city and the county, the Maryland Theater. I think they're right now poised to have an extremely successful city. And I hope that everybody gets on board and maybe brings their ideas, but makes that happen.
Well, and I would agree with you 100%. And I think that there's been a lot of opposition, but we have to understand as a city that in order to encourage growth, sometimes we have to create that growth by creating infrastructure to support it. And I will agree even more by saying that if I guarantee you if that walkway does go into place,
Well, it's there.
property prices, mark my words, around that area will start rising.
Yes.
So I'm a go big or go home guy, but I would also say that I don't think there was a lot among the candidates. I don't think there was a lot of dispute about the benefits of a downtown educational hub, of expanding the Maryland Theater. I have not talked to anybody that doesn't suggest that the Maryland Theater is the crown jewel of Hagerstown. It absolutely is, and we should be pouring whatever money we need into it, because guess what? It's going to pay back 100-fold.
Yes.
Over the next 100 years. So I've not heard any concerns on that. But I do want to get to the school board. We have to get to the school board.
Yeah.
Can I tell
Are
you
we
my
driving there, or
Can I
are we
tell
just
you
gonna
my
talk
one
about it?
concern on the school board?
Why don't you tell
You
us
only
your
have one?
concern? You only got
I
one?
have many, but I have one big one. My one big one is that the new board will take over. They will call an emergency session, and now with 4 votes in favor of Ms. Harshman, they will decide to not send
You think so?
that issue to the State Board of Education for review. And since Ms. Harshman voted for it, whether this was luck or planning, she can now bring it up to reconsider the motion.
I would totally disagree. It's been pointed out by legal authority when he sent a letter down the road that there had been an obstruction of justice by knowledge that she had over a period of time, and I do not see how the school board could go forward not knowing that what the law says. If you know of a problem and you don't disclose it, you've got a problem. It's been disclosed. So to say that any or any amount of a coup, so to speak, to stop it, they would be flying in the face of what the law says.
I would absolutely agree with your theory, but I'm being a conspiracy theorist, and I will gladly admit that at this point.
Do you know what?
What?
I've heard that.
Oh, you have?
Oh, yes.
So I'm not the only one that's
You're
a
not the
conspiracy
only one
theorist.
hearing. I've heard just what you told everybody.
But you don't think it'll happen?
I think they'd be foolish to do it.
Okay.
Because they don't know if it's
So-
going to be legal.
So you now have 4 votes against Clayton Wilcox as head of the
Clayton
school
Wilcox
system.
has a contract.
They can cut that. They re-renewed his contract last year off cycle. They can take it away off cycle as well. I mean, it's going to cost them, but they could do it.
Well, I mean, can they do it? Hopefully we get by pettiness and get on with educating children.
Right.
Hopefully that takes precedent in
Well,
the school board.
And honestly, I mean, if you look at what Clayton has done for the county, for the schools in the county, I think that would be very foolish. I think the other part that's kind of important to bring up here is what happened to Donna Brightman and how she was basically fell prey to a campaign, a very nasty smear campaign.
Yeah,
She did.
They
and
did.
And
Yeah.
quite frankly, it was the Republicans that did that. And I am a registered Republican, and I have no use for the people that did that. And it's not because I am that, enthralled with Donna Brightman, but she was, in my opinion, a very logical and reasonable voice on our school board. She worked as hard as any school board member. I would liken her to a Marie Byers, and Marie Byers has a halo over her head forever for the work that she did on the school board. I would put Donna Brightman in that same category, and I would say that we lost a good representative when we lost Donna. Not to mention the presidency of the State Maryland Association of Boards of Education, which is a big deal, that is now gone. She's already had to resign.
And I do kind of wonder if that was perhaps retaliation for the incidents with Woody Spong.
Oh, I'm sure it was at some level.
I've had a chance to talk on election day to Donna Brightman, and we had a good conversation about perception. The perception was a very dysfunctional, disorganized school board. That was not the case.
No, not at all.
The school board actually worked together 7-0 votes 90 couple percent of the time.
Right.
There were other times that this consternation or these problems of individual school board members brought up that became the vocal point or the focal point of what the school board was all about. And what happens, you're seen as 4 members that were there and the 3 members that were in opposition, everybody was painted with the same brush. She was the chairman of the board. Right. And being chairman of the board, and you don't really control what's going on, where in effect, the overwhelming majority of the time, the school board was well under control, voting 7-0.
Yeah.
She got caught up then, and in that day, which people just said, the school board, there are people there that have to go.
Yeah. I was also disappointed that Al Martin didn't get in. His financial background is significant, and I think.
Well,
he
when
would
you
have
look
been
at
a
a
good voice.
financial background within the school board, that's probably one of the least important major points of the school board, because you've got a finance director, you've got
I
somebody
understand that.
there that really watches finance. Al had the ability to bring people together. That's what we're going to miss with Al Martin. He had that innate ability of working with all kind of people, with the state government, with the federal
Right.
government, with all of incorporated municipalities around through the Maryland Municipal League. He was
Yeah.
a great asset.
He had a great Rolodex, unfortunately, not including the voters of Washington County. I think his problem was people didn't know who he was.
Right. And I'm going to give you the last word on that, Jim.
Okay.
But next up on the flip side, we'll take a closer look at climate change. Stay tuned. We're back in 3 minutes.